Good morning, church family. We're winding down our series on cultivating relationship. And our exhortation this morning will be taken from Matthew 22:37 through 40. Jesus replied, "You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. A second is equally important. Love your neighbor as yourself." The entire law and all the demands of the prophets are based on these two commandments. The last sentence is pretty big. Jesus says that all the law and the prophets, really most of the Old Testament or Hebrew Bible, hang on to what Jesus says in the first couple of verses. That means that the foundation of all those books of the Bible, everything they teach, is love. Specifically loving God and loving people. And those words say something really, really important. They say something about what it really means to love, which is the main ingredient in cultivating relationships. Jesus is saying that the best way to live the best kind of life is to do two things. The first is to truly love God, and not just with our heads, trying to fill it with information about God, not just with our hearts in a strictly emotional way that doesn't connect with our brain, but with everything that we are. We love Him with our heart, our soul, and mind. That leaves nothing out. No area of our lives is not touched by the love of God. No area of our lives is excluded from loving God. Now that's a challenge for sure. But that's what Jesus says is a critical key to living the best kind of life, with the end in view of cultivating relationships. Just like you can't make plants or a fruit crop grow healthy without fertilizer, you can't possibly cultivate relationships without love. In 1 Corinthians 13:13, three things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. But actually, that is not enough. It's not just us and God. It's not just me and Jesus. It's actually you, all of you, and me. If I'm going to live the best kind of life, I need to love you all as I love myself. And the word used there is agapao or agapao. It means to welcome, to entertain, to be fond of, and to love dearly. And it's the same word exactly that Jesus uses to describe us loving God. We welcome God into our lives. We accept His invitation to living life with God through Jesus Christ. We grow to love Him with everything in us. And at the same time, we grow to love people and treat them the same way we want them to treat us, the same way we want to be treated. We want to be respected. We want dignity. We want to be appreciated and cared for. Now that's good. Jesus says the way to live and to really live is to do exactly that with our neighbor. And who is our neighbor? It's actually everyone. You know, loving God might be easier than loving people, especially those with EGR or extra grace required. C.S. Lewis once said, "It is easier to be enthusiastic about humanity with a capital H than it is to love individual men and women, especially those that are uninteresting, exasperating, depraved, or otherwise just plain unattractive." Loving everybody in general may be an excuse for loving nobody in particular. That's true. But God wants us to love others in particular. He wants us to have the good lives and good feelings and great relationships that come from treating people well, for loving them as we love ourselves. And sometimes we may find it hard to love ourselves, but that's altogether another issue. So church, let's practice this. We don't need to study it before we put it into practice. Let's all do it right after the service. Talk to someone you might not normally talk to, even online. Call them, text them. If you don't want to talk or to Zoom, call them and just listen. Think about how others are feeling. Care about the situation they're in. Show somebody that you care for them. If you've been meaning to express appreciation for someone, I challenge you to do it. Love God, love people. It may be challenging, but it's that simple. So just do it and don't make it complicated. Friends, I hope you enjoy the rest of the sermon and may it touch your hearts today.